All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this edition of the Be That Guy podcast. I don't even really know the words to properly describe what you guys are about to listen to, but I do know this. It is one of the most rawest and authentic conversations that I've personally ever had. It's extremely calming, it's extremely peaceful, yet we get as deep into the human soul and the human resilience that we all can possess throughout challenges in our lives, and how to get through those challenges and how to come out of those challenges a better human that wants to serve the world. So if you're interested in learning how to do that, watch this whole episode, listen to this episode, share it to the people that you love in your life, because it's going to change their lives and hopefully it's going to change yours as well. Enjoy the show. I want to know who like 15-year-old Jonathan was. I don't know who that guy was, what that guy went through, and what that experience built him into.
Okay.
I want to go to the beginning.
The beginning?
I mean, is that like, would you say that's the beginning, or do you think it's even deeper than that?
Even deeper.
All right, then let's go even deeper.
Deeper?
And then we'll get to 15.
Okay, all right. 11-year-old Jonathan.
11-year-old. All right, so 4 years before 15-year-old.
4 years before 15-year-old. And what's crazy is I'm in therapy now.
Okay. Good for you, by the way.
Thank you.
All right. I have a coach who's kind of like my therapist. Yeah. I've called her sometimes my therapist, so I'm completely for that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's a strategy.
Anybody I love, I want them to be in therapy.
100%.
Anybody, I don't know where we're at.
Yeah. Go get a coach, get a therapy.
And so with that, she helped me understand that as an adult, as a man, I am now responsible. Now that I'm conscious, I am now responsible for 11-year-old Jonathan. And in our therapy sessions, she would bring up 11-year-old Jonathan. And without any reaction, it was a visceral reaction, tears. Because, and I might cry now, I don't even know. I then have to think about everything 11-year-old Jonathan is about to go through. And it's crazy.
What does it make you feel when you think about that?
Sorrow and extreme empathy, because other people put him through things, or other people witnessed what he went through and could do nothing and were perpetrators. And all I want to do is hug him and tell him it's okay. I got you now. Just be exactly who you are. And so it's rewiring trauma to be used in a good way. But this is after I became a coach. I've been helping people change their lives without addressing 11-year-old Jonathan. And so to get into it, 11-year-old Jonathan, who is he? And so I'm working on writing my book. So I just did chapter 1 talking about all of that. And 11-year-old Jonathan, end of July, right before my birthday, August 2nd. And I'll make a comment about that if I remember, has just become a mama's boy with no mama. All right? So my mother passes away.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
sorry about that, man.
But everything happened for a reason.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's bold to say, I wouldn't be on this podcast. If I had 2 parents and loving family and no 15-year-old Jonathan. We'll tease what's to come.
You know what's interesting? I don't think I'd be on this podcast if I didn't have the family I had, and I had a mom and a dad who I still love today, and a sister, and everything. Complete opposite. And sometimes it's tough to say this, but I almost sometimes feel guilty for that.
You should. No, I'm kidding. No, it makes sense.
Right? And like, oh, I had it so easy, and I had my challenges here and there, yet what we're gonna hear today, it's like, that's some shit.
Can I tell you why you feel guilty?
Yeah.
You're empathetic. That's all it is. And your mind is interpreting it in a different way. And we appreciate the empathy. Give yourself grace. He gives
Mhm.
you grace. Give yourself grace. Just don't use it too much.
Yeah. I will say this though, there's like, because I think about that a lot, like with that guilt, and I think it's a very seldom thing. Like I don't think about it a lot, yet sometimes it does surface.
Mm-hmm.
Yet I also do remember the strictness and the rigidness, and sometimes my perceived expectations of what I needed to be as a son,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was an athlete, good at school, be able to talk a certain way, have a certain presence to myself, where other people might not have had that strictness
Mm-hmm.
and had more freedom as a young man. And so I do think there are pros and cons
Mm-hmm.
to the way I was raised. Yep, in all honesty, sometimes that guilt does surface. And to your point, I think it's because I empathize with people who didn't necessarily have
For sure.
the upbringing that I had,
For sure.
and I respect that. Then,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's crazy. The discipline, the strictness, the structure you had was an ultimate form of love. If you didn't know that, I'm happy to.
I can see it now,
Yeah.
right? I had to go
Yeah.
through it, right, to
Yeah.
experience it.
You were given parameters
Yep.
to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And the empathy that you give means it works. It worked. So like
I like that.
you
Thank you for saying that. Seriously though,
of course.
that the empathy shows that it worked.
Yeah.
I like that.
But you went through what you went through and you're here
Mm-hmm.
on this couch.
Yeah,
I went through
this
what I went
beautiful
through.
orange couch.
And that's my favorite color, by
Yeah,
the way.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Here on this couch. And so a brief just interjecting thought.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have air in your lungs, you're winning.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. My friend Shavir says, when I ask him, hey, how are you? I stole it. I took this. This is mine now. I took it from him. He goes, I'm alive and healthy. Everything else is extra. What it is, oh, what a blessing it is to have struggles. I'll leave that at that.
I have so many stories and things to say about that, and we can maybe come back to that later.
Okay. But we'll go back to 11-year-old
Yes, I
Jonathan.
want to hear about 11-year-old Jonathan.
So he's a mama's boy with no mama. I have memories in the kindergarten line crying because my mom dropped me off and she had to go to work. I remember I was in a parent teacher conference at night. I'm there, my mom's there, and I tell my teacher, I'm going to make a pill to make my mom live forever because I don't want to ever lose her. Well, 5, 6-year-old Jonathan kind of knew what was coming for some reason. And I'm on vacation with my grandparents. My mom was just in Florida with us. She left a week early to go to work because we were a poor family. We lived with our grandparents up until 9, 10, moved out in our own in a house with my mother.
Jersey guy, you said?
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yes, always.
New York's right next to it.
We like y'all.
Yeah.
We like it. And so I'm folding laundry. I'm folding khaki shorts on the coffee table, putting all the clothes in the white basket. The house gets a ring. My grandma answers the phone. And it's not a typical phone call. Out of nowhere, she starts wailing and screaming, "Why God?" I'm over here folding away. I don't know what's happening. My grandfather comes over, consoles her. And then the thing with trauma, which I'm going to bring up a lot because I brought it up a lot in my book, is it erases memories. Because some things are so unbearable that the best thing your brain can do is erase it so you can continue to live. And so my grandfather comes over to me, or I don't know who it was. Somebody comes over to me and says, your mother has passed away. However they said it, I don't know. I'm putting pieces together. I'm wailing. I'm crying. The next memory I have is being back home, going to my house to grab some things. The next memory is going to see my mother in the funeral home. The next memory is her funeral. My best friend Kieran is there. I'm crying. And at this, 11 years old, crying's not cool. I'm wailing in front of my best friend, his mom. I don't even know. I can't even remember where my sister was at the funeral. If you put a gun in my head and say, all right, where were you? And where was your sister at the funeral? Shoot it. Like, because I don't know. And so at 11 years old, depression begins.
Mm.
Depression, anxiety, sadness. And from there, I had an absentee father. And I'm super okay now with sharing this part of my story because fast forwarding, I just forgave my father. Texted him, "Good morning today. I love you. Have a great day."
Shout out to all the good dads out there.
Shout out to all the dads.
All the dads. Right
Shout out
there.
to all the
Shout out
dads.
to all the dads.
You're there for a reason. But at this point, he wasn't around. He was a woman abuser, animal abuser, alcoholic, not a great person. We went to lunch. He said, "Hey, son, I know I was terrible."
Mm.
So, like, I let him read the outline of the book that I'm working on. He was like, "That's a powerful book." And chapter 2, or part 2, is titled Surviving My Father.
Mm.
My father read it and essentially gave me the blessing.
I was about to say, was he
Yeah.
good with that?
And so now sharing the story, I don't feel bad at all. Prior to that, when I even wrote the outline, I was like, bro, I'm going to be throwing him under the bus. Now it's like, my story is going to help somebody.
Mm.
And my story has a good ending.
It's honesty
It's with
too.
my dad.
Right? It's you, right? Like
Mhm.
if you didn't have that chapter,
Yeah.
it'd be like, this is 95% of Jonathan.
Yeah.
It's not 100%.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the fact that your dad was like, this has to be out there.
Yeah.
It's also a testament to him,
Mm-hmm.
right? For saying like, hey, I know that this doesn't sound that great for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was probably dealing with his own demons and his
Mhm.
battles. And the fact that you both collectively are like, we're going to put this out into the world, like, good for both of you.
The world needs it.
Yeah.
And so my father wasn't around, and we're faced with a decision after the funeral. Are we going to go live with our parents, our grandparents, or go live with my father? And so we have a half brother, but he's my full brother. Same dad, different mom. And he proposed to us that if we live with our father, he'll move in together, siblings will be together. That's what we went with. And what ensued after was so much neglect, so much emotional abuse. No physical abuse for me because my dad didn't hit men. But I found out as an adult that my sister was hit, which is crazy because I never got hit. When I found that out, I wanted to fight him
Yeah.
because at that time I had muscles. I was ready.
Yeah.
But
You're a young man at that point.
going into that, it's my father never talked to me about my mother. There was no breakdown. There was no discussion of grief. It was straight from one trauma to the next with the neglect, the abuse, the alcoholism, the lights were cut off, bills weren't paid, the house was cold, I didn't have a door. And I go into my new town as the timid, shy kid who just lost his mother. How am I supposed to express myself? I don't even have somebody to talk to. And from there, even before then, my sister was my best friend. She still is my best friend to this day, but she's so much more than my best friend. So much so that the word sister means so much to me. That is my dog.
My sister's my dog too.
That is my dog.
Shout out to all the sisters.
Shout out to all the sisters. My dog.
Yeah.
And you grow stronger with your connections to people through trauma. So I get it. I know why she's my dog.
Yeah.
Because as we talk about this story, for you and for anybody that's watching, keep in mind my sister is right here the whole time as I'm discussing my story, walking down her own story. And so, a funny note about being a timid, shy kid that I want to share is when I got to my writing class in 6th grade, my teacher calls me John, shortens my name. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't care about my name. My mom just not like, what are you talking about? By the time I turned 18, I said, that is unacceptable. My mother named me Jonathan. And so anybody I've met past 18, I correct them. I don't feel bad about it. Anybody I knew before, it's kind of weird hearing them say my full name. So you can continue to call me John. But I've written emails to people correcting them. I was in my public speaking group today. Somebody called me John 3 times. Corrected them all 3 times. What's not for me, it's not for vanity reasons. It's because that's what my mother named me. And I want to honor her.
Let's say it's honoring her.
In every single way. And so there's all this neglect, this distracting going on, because it wasn't until I got to my father's house and found a late night HBO show that I realized what porn was.
I was about to say it's probably more.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, oh. And then I see what they do. I copy it. I'm like, wow, that feels great. I'm so sad. I like this.
Exactly. Yeah.
At the same time, zero nutritional knowledge. Not to blame anybody that raised us, but my grandma would make fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and mashed potatoes. What are we talking about? Practice.
That's practice.
And so, food, love food. Porn, love porn. From then on, for a long time, those two, all those two things, all three of us, we're locked in.
Was that kind of your escape?
Yeah.
From like your reality thing? Those are your vices?
Like, no matter what's going on, those two things, they got me.
Yeah. They're always there for you.
Yeah. Always there for me. Not knowing what it's actually doing to me. And that foundation has been uprooted and it broken down, destroyed. And it was like, and we'll get to that, but my life crumbled. And it was like, I can't use these things anymore.
And that's when you were 18?
What?
When you were doing the porn and the bad diet?
12.
Or that was 12?
12.
That was 12.
Like 11, 12, right after my mom moved in with my dad, find HBO.
Okay.
There's no real government at home. You could eat whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's like, those were things I leaned on. And now as a side note, if you're overweight for a reason. I don't think anybody's accidentally overweight. And that's not me feeling sorry for people. That's not me giving people a way out. But I've been through some stuff. And I
mean, you're proof of it, right?
Exactly.
Right?
So you're overweight for a reason. And I used to hate my overweight self. I used to have a negative view of overweight people. All of it's gone. I'm very empathetic. And I love everybody. You're overweight for a reason, but you don't have my sympathy. You can do something about it. So all of that is going on with the loss of my mother. I'm in grief counseling with some random woman and talk to my counselor at school. But it's just navigating my life and attaching myself to all of the fun things. My friends, going outside, rollerblading, video games, engulfed in it, or that my life is engulfed in that, just so I don't have to think about all this terrible stuff that's going on. Anxiety and depression that I told you about starts to come up, and it's like, and it comes up in this idea that when we die, we cease to exist. So nothing matters. So I turn to the porn, I turn to the food, I turn to the video games just to stop thinking about that. And it worked for a long time.
It's a hell of an escape.
It worked for a long time, but that's we have a lot to talk about in a very short term. 11-year-old Jonathan right before 15-year-old Jonathan. If you had any thoughts or comments.
I mean, the one thing that came into my head was like when we were talking, and I can't remember if we were recording or not when you said this, but your friend who said, "Hey, I'm breathing and I'm alive." And through those times of those really hard times that you described when you were 11 to 12, you were breathing and you were still alive.
Come on, somebody.
Right. And what came into my head was my father grew up with 2 brothers and a sister and a mother and a father. And unfortunately, my grandfather and my 2 uncles had passed away. And my youngest uncle, his name was Larry, super, super smart guy, like worked for NASA, an incredibly intelligent man. He lived in California, drove a Porsche 911, had a home in the California hills that overlooked the trees, kind of on a private drive.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful home, tennis court, guest house. And so he had this beautiful life, yet unfortunately, he had a really bad disease similar to like Lou Gehrig's disease. He lost usage of his body, right? Couldn't really talk, and he slowly just kind of went downhill. And so before he passed away, my father and I went to go see him. And my father hadn't seen it. We hadn't seen him in a while because he was going through all these medical things. And so we went to his home. And I remember when we pulled in, his Porsche 911 was in the garage. And there were three rakes that were leaning up against it. And I thought to myself, like, that's a car that like any guy in the world would want.
Mm-hmm.
And it has zero value. So it's a rake rack right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we walked into this home, beautiful, immaculate home. And he was sitting on the couch and he couldn't really talk at this time. So we just sat with him, we hung out with him. And my father actually picked him up one day. It's his younger brother, picked him up and said, Deej, we're going to go play tennis. And I want to bring Uncle Larry and he's going to come watch us. So he picked up my uncle and he held him in the gator that my uncle had, like the alt ATV kind of alternate vehicle. And I drove it up to the tennis court while my father held on to his younger brother. And then we set him in the gator and he watched us play tennis. And my dad went over to him and hit the tennis ball right at him in the chest and he can't move.
Yeah.
And he like kind of giggled. And I'm like, two brothers
Mm-hmm.
just messing around with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so we stayed over that weekend. And one of the mornings, he had these two beautiful balconies that overlooked these huge trees, and the sun would come up through the dew, just immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
And one morning, I walked out onto my balcony, and ironically, at the same time, my father kind of did. And he walked out, and he stood and looked out over the balcony, and we didn't say anything to each other, and it was kind of like this quiet, cool moment where we were just both silently looking out at these trees. My father looked around at everything, and he goes, "None of this means anything." And my father's a very positive person.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked over at him and I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "If you don't have your health, none of this means anything." And I remember that moment forever
Mm-hmm.
because we were in a multi-million-dollar home with a Porsche 911 and the tennis courts and the guest house. You can't do anything if you don't have your health. And so I always remembered that, where it's like the days when I maybe do want to eat the pizza, when I do want to skip the gym. And I get it. Sometimes I do eat the pizza and I do skip the gym. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yet it's very seldom.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have the opportunity to improve ourselves. We have the opportunity to be healthy. Young 11, 12-year-old Jonathan, he was alive. He was struggling with X, Y, and Z,
Mm-hmm.
yet he was trying to figure it out in his best way.
Yeah.
And because you literally stayed alive, you're sitting on this couch today.
Come on.
Right?
Come on.
Like that stuff to me, you grow through what you go through.
Come on.
Right?
Come on.
And it makes you a healthier, stronger, smarter, empathetic, kinder, more impactful man or woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the stuff that like hurts my heart, where it's like my Uncle Larry he lost that opportunity. Right. And that was the thing where that always just hit me. That always just hit me so hard in my head, because we can do so much in this world if we really take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take that stuff serious, right? Whether you're a dad, mom, son, daughter, whatever, friend, right? Call your buddies out if they're slacking on things, right? Help them be healthier.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were just going through that, I kept thinking, like, you made it through it, right? And you produced yourself into a healthier man, right? As you unfold the rest of your story, like, I just find that ridiculously inspiring. So that was kind of what I thought about that. So all right, so
Can I
yes.
I love it. My heart rate is so slow.
I feel that it's very
right?
I feel very calm.
Yo, and it's just like, I can't describe it,
Mm-hmm.
but there's something palpable in this room, and I'm thankful for it. That was something that took me so long to learn, that you have nothing if you don't have your health. Even with somebody who had an overweight mother who lost her life because of it. I didn't start to lose weight. I'm skipping ahead. I didn't start to lose weight for my health. It was for vain reasons. And now I know some things. And I had to go through what I went through to grow through it. And so I say what you said a little bit more aggressive. You said you grow through what you go through. That's a backwards looking perspective. I tell people from the beginning, you got to go through it to grow through it. I'm preparing you for the battles that are to come without you really knowing it. And so, with the health being so important, we take it for granted. But at the same time, I have empathy. It's because we don't even know what we don't know. And to help somebody understand what I mean by that, I would pull up to exams in college and not even know what the titles of chapters 1 through 12 were. So not only do I not know the chapters, I don't even know what the chapters are about. And so when it comes to the health being the number one thing in the world, if nobody tells you that, you don't even know how important it is. And so ignorance is bliss. But to conclude that and also to conclude my statement, staying alive, that's what it's all about. Luckily, thankfully, whatever, maybe by design, I was never suicidal. Not something that came to mind. But staying alive is what it's about. And as I look back on my journey that we'll discuss more and more, up until that turning point that we'll discuss, I was in survival mode and I didn't even know it. And when I did become who I am today, at first I hated myself. I said, how could I let this happen? Why did all this happen? Why was I acting like that? But if you think about the adrenaline of fight or flight or freeze, I was freezing. I survived. Once you become aware that you're surviving, that's it. That's when you start living. When you're aware that you're in survival mode, once you get a hold of your life and what you're doing, then you can begin to thrive. But for so many years, even after that, I was in survival mode and I switched from hating my old self to loving him so tenderly because I wouldn't be who I am today without him. I wouldn't be here had he not gone through what he went through. And the thing now, I'm all about uplifting, encouraging, and then inspiring. I'll come back to that too. That's something I want to say. I end all of my client calls today with, you are right where you need to be, doing exactly what needs to be done. And I have them repeat it back to me to say, I am. That's my gift to them. They don't know what's happening, but that I am is powerful. And I can talk about that for hours.
That's an identity at that point.
And so in my book, and then I'll close this part. The devotional page, where it's like, for my wife, I love you so much. Thank you. It's going to say, if all I have done is inspire and motivate, then I have failed. I'm going to leave it at that, but I'll explain it to you. Because you can be inspired the minute you open Instagram and you see a Lamborghini. You can be motivated the minute you see somebody just made $15,000 in sales. Then what? I could be inspired right now hearing about your uncle's Porsche working at NASA in California. I'm sitting on the couch. With those sentences, I am evoking action. I'm not trying. I want people to read those sentences and go. Simple as that.
Rock bottom's a great launching pad.
Hey, come on now.
I read that from you. You inspired me with that one. All right, so 12-year-old Jonathan turned into 15-year-old Jonathan. So what did 15-year-old Jonathan have to experience or get to experience? Right? What did he get to experience?
I'm going through public speaking right now to get ready to step on stage. And as I was thinking about how to answer that question, this is why I'm telling you this. It's like, how do I deliver this in the best way possible? How do I tell this story in a way that's going to be so impactful?
Mhm.
There is none.
Yeah.
There is no build up. There is,
Mhm.
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
15 years old, surviving a neglectful father, just lost my mother, addicted to porn, food, overweight, living, surviving, just surviving. I get diagnosed with cancer, ALL leukemia. There's a whole story. Back pain. Don't know what it's about. I'm crying. I'm not leaving the bed. I'm not watching TV. I'm just in bed, existing, drinking water. So there's a whole case of water next to my bed. I'll drink, and I barely get up to go to the bathroom. Drinking water all day, my pee's super yellow.
Oh.
TMI,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Your pee was super yellow? 'Cause
super
you
yellow,
just super dehydrated still?
super dehydrated, not
Mhm.
eating.
Mhm.
I look malnourished because it hurts to do anything. Still going to school because my dad's like, man up. Go to a hospital. They're saying back spasms. Here's some pain medicine. Happens again. Back spasms. Here's some pain medicine. I'm in church one time. I was baptized at 12.
Okay.
Didn't know what it meant, but I feel like we'll come back to that.
Oh, yeah.
Standing up at church, I feel like I'm about to pass out. We go to a different hospital. They say, oh, he's dehydrated. Here's some fluids. Like, simple as that. This back pain is excruciating.
Mhm.
I didn't even get out of bed to see my sister's prom dress and photos. And I'm alone. I'm in the bed crying by myself day and night. I'm in class. I don't know what I'm doing. When we got to lunch, I would be crying. I'm talking just tears.
Mhm.
And the dean will come, call the nurse, whatever, send me home. And I've forgiven my father. Everything happened exactly as I should. But it was a whole lot of stop acting like a baby.
Mhm.
Man up.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Mhm.
I think if he knew what it felt like, even in that state, he wouldn't have been saying those
Yeah.
things. So I don't fault him for it. I don't feel any
Mhm.
type of way. When my mother passes away, my Aunt Brenda steps up. She was always around, always a supportive aunt,
Mhm.
but now comes in.
Shout out to
It's
Aunt
my mother.
Brenda. Shout out Aunt.
Shout out Aunt Brenda.
Shout out Aunt Brenda.
Love is in action. That's from Aunt Brenda.
I like that.
And so she's there for me.
Mhm.
I'm talking, my father didn't have his license, rides to school, groceries, anything your mom would do,
Mhm.
she would do, but she just lived in a different house. Loved us unconditionally, rose above and beyond. Now to fast forward, losing Aunt Brenda hurt more than losing my mom because she was a part of my life longer. Crazy to think, but losing my mom prepared me for losing Aunt Brenda.
Mhm.
Hold that. I don't know what you want to do with that, but hold that. I go to Aunt Brenda. I'm like, I call her. I'm like, Aunt Brenda, I'm really suffering today.
Mhm.
The medicine's not really helping. Can I come spend the night with you? Because while I'm at home, my dad's downstairs drinking with his friends, getting drunk.
Mhm.
I'm just in pain, crying upstairs. At Aunt Brenda's, not somebody's tending to me or being my butler.
Mhm.
Somebody cares about me.
Someone's helping me out a little
Right.
bit. Yeah.
And so my dad's like, oh, you're just going over there because you want to get baby. I'm like, dog, no. I just want to be loved. I need some help.
Yeah.
So I mean, Aunt Brenda, she gets the air mattress out,
Mhm.
but it's not blown up all the way. So it's not tough on my back. And she's taking care of me. I'm crying in the middle of the night. And when I say crying, I'm wailing. Like, I don't want you to think I'm just in bed, just tears
Mhm.
are flowing.
Mhm.
I am wailing.
Mhm.
I am vocally crying
Mhm.
throughout the day, in class, in school. It's a cry. I'm not hiding. And it is terrible. And so, and Brenda wakes up in the middle of the night while I'm crying. She said, enough. Enough. Jonathan, let's go. We go to a different hospital that was outside of my insurance. They do some tests, and Brenda's there. Like, well, we found anemia, which is low iron, which makes sense. I wasn't eating. And they say, but we want to send you to this other hospital to do some more tests. They don't tell me the name of the hospital. It was Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, big cancer place. So I get in the ambulance. They drive me down. They do some tests. I'm now in the hospital room. I don't know what floor I'm on. Again, remember we talked about trauma
Yeah.
and erasing memories?
Yeah.
Don't really remember getting surgery to put something in my chest. I don't remember what that whole ambulance trip looked like. Things are fuzzy. So shout out my brain for keeping me sane. But
Shout out my brain.
get these tests. I'm doing these things. And what I'll say, and this will come up more. I just know you'll ask about it. I'm still me though. Laughing. I'm smiling. Making jokes with the nurses, with my people, whatever it is. No matter what. I had some jacked up teeth, dog. My dad didn't give me braces. That's part of the neglect. I'm talking my teeth were fighting each other. That's how bad it looked. Always smiling. I'm glad, smile looks good.
Yeah,
now.
it looks great.
But before cancer was myself. So we get there, they do all these tests. And they come in the next morning, the doctor team comes in. My Aunt Beverly's holding my hand. My other aunts, they're in my hospital room. I don't know if they knew before I knew, but they come in, they say, so we did some tests and you have ALL leukemia. I immediately start wailing again, but it's not pain because I think I'm hyped up on meds at this point. And in the midst of my crying, I say, that's cancer, right? Like while I'm crying, tears. They're like, yes, time out. At this moment, the only thing I know about cancer is that you go bald and you die. That's it. So I'm like, okay, I'm dead. Just like my mom and all the fears that I've been having, it's right here. So that was all the crying. My Aunt Beverly squeezing my hand. I don't know what to do. Within the same breath, the doctor goes, but it's okay, we got a plan for you. So casually, so calmly. And so in the midst of my crying, excuse my French, I'm working on not cursing less. But I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's all this animosity in the world about finding a cure for cancer. What are you telling me? I'm good. I have cancer, dog. You don't. And so they're like, nah. So we'll put you on a plan. We'll get you into something that's called remission. For all that don't know, remission means your body no longer produces cancerous cells.
She said that right there, right then and there, that they would get you into remission that quick.
Well, it happens with the chemotherapy.
It happens with the chemo.
So it's incurable, but it's treatable.
Okay.
And so you hear of relapses and things like that.
Because I had a grandfather who passed away from cancer, and that was started in his lungs. Or excuse me, I think it started in his kidneys. Went in, he beat it, and then it all came back throughout his whole body, and that's how he passed away.
That's how we lost Aunt Brenda. Started in her lungs, went to the rest of her body. Yeah. So we can discuss that.
Excuse my French, but fuck cancer.
No.
I would do anything to have my grandpa back. I have a different story around cancer.
That is, and without even, I'll finish mine, and without getting to that, maybe just think about, is that resistance or acceptance? And I'll leave it at that. Back to my story. Well, I want to hear that.
Yeah, I want to talk about it too,
and we will.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you're good. We're gonna start this. We actually have meds coming in. There's different plans that you're gonna do, and so I was part of a research study for cancer patients. Boom, started right away. The back pain that I spent so long talking about. Let's play a game. Do you want to guess what it was?
What the actual back pain was?
Yeah. You don't have to think too long about it. I'll give it to you. Do you have a guess?
I don't really have a guess. And I don't want to say something where I'm like, wow, he knows nothing about back pain.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So here's what happened. So with ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, I'm giving you the words, giving them the words. If you want to look it up, go look it up. That's what I had. In layman's terms, your blood has so many cells in it. Red blood cells, white blood cells. They also have these things called T cells in them. And what do they do? I don't know. But my body was producing immature T cells that were unable to carry out their intended function. With that, the doctors cut open my skin and injected a needle into my pelvic bone to collect bone marrow to analyze and study it. All of mine was dried up.
Really?
So
So that's where the back pain was coming from.
yeah,
You had dried up bone marrow.
yes.
Hmm.
So the essence of your bones, aka
Okay.
the essence of your life.
Like the density of the bone?
So like just the middle of the bone.
Just the middle of the bone?
Yeah,
Okay.
all that bone marrow
Yeah.
that helps transfer all the nutrients, anything you need goes to your bone marrow.
Yeah.
Dried up. So they had to go to the other one to get the bone marrow. And they were like, oh yeah, this guy is ALF.
It's like, oh, we found it.
Yeah. But then with that, I was like, okay, we got a plan. We're good to go. I have to tell this because it's funny. There's one bag of chemo. It's a big orange bag, bigger than both of our heads combined.
Okay. A bag of chemo, you said?
Yeah, because it's going through. So I got something put in my chest. It's called a port.
Yeah.
So instead of getting IV straight to your vein each time, they installed the port, connected it to an artery up here. So all they have to do is pierce the skin.
Okay.
Just straight into the blood.
Okay.
That was the first one. And so I'm connected to the port. They're bringing the bag, and they're like, "Hey, Jonathan, just want to let you know, this drug, this chemo, may change the color of your urine. So if you get up later and it looks a little off, no, it's okay."
Jeez.
Yo, if they didn't tell me that,
Oh my God.
bro, I'm pissing orange like this couch. Straight up. No, probably like this wall back here. And I'm like, yo, it looks like Kool-Aid. I was like, if they didn't tell me that, it would have been so scary.
Yeah.
But then it's a whole 3-year long process now that I have to go in. I have to fact check myself, but I don't care. It's about this.
Okay.
3 days after I start chemo, I'm in remission.
How?
Yeah.
What?
3 days after, but it's still a whole 3-year long process. You have to go through it to, do its best to make sure it doesn't come back, checkups, things like that. And I think the one thing that I was confused about was like, if it's gone, then what are we doing? But it's like, at that point, it became breathing. It became like breathing. I remember I made a post on Facebook. I'm like, hey guys, got cancer, going through chemotherapy. I spelled it wrong. I'm a big speller, but I share it with the world, whatever. There's a lot to talk about with that, but keeping with the story, I'm in the hospital. I spend my 16th birthday in the hospital. That's when it happened. So now, for record keeping purposes, my birthday is August 2nd. My mother's death date is less than a week before. My cancer diagnosis date is less than a week before. And so it wasn't until last year I was like, why do I not really look forward to my birthdays? It's because all that other stuff is coming.
I'll say July and August is a tough combo.
Yeah, that's when it all comes up. And so I go through the chemotherapy, and I'm going to kind of stop there so we can explore and then talk about that if you like. But through getting diagnosed with cancer, one thing I learned is that it's all about the small things. But let me explain. It's all about the small things because the small things don't matter. And at the same exact time, the small things mean the most. Every single day I wake up, I text a couple people that I love. Good morning. I love you. Small thing. It's a text message. You receive how many texts a day? And then the small things don't matter in the sense that I failed so many classes in college. Didn't matter. I got my degree. So you got to hold on to the small things and let the small things go, and just use your discernment to figure out which is which.
Mm-hmm.
But with all of that, with death being at my face all the time, I became myself more afterwards. Just like you said with your uncle, health is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, I was alive.
Yeah.
If you look back and if I do share photos, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that bald head is smiling. That chrome dome is a smiling boy. And they actually called me the governor of the hospital floor because I was never in my room. They would try to look for me. I'm in room 3.
Mm-hmm.
They would try to look for me. I'm at the nurse's station. And so this engaging, personable, outgoing person you see before you today started back then. It was like, well, if I got nothing to lose, I might as well just go have a good time. And I love spending time with people.
Wow.
And so I wasn't that kid that let it control me.
Yeah.
And I'll make one more comment and I'll give it back to you. Everybody always says, cancer survivors, you're so strong. You're a warrior. And I tell people I was diagnosed with cancer. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Why? Like, that's my story. You fell on your bike at age 14 and scraped your knee. I got diagnosed with cancer. Same thing, right? That's my norm. That was a norm conversation we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But I personally accept the compliment of being strong for being a cancer survivor because I didn't let my cancer define me. I had my moments of fear and doubt and darkness, spoke to people about it. But I accept that compliment because I became myself so much more because of the cancer. I didn't let the cancer determine how I live my life. Not that I'm about to grow wings and fly away, but if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't even know that I'm a cancer survivor. That's my first tattoo.
So I'm so happy you said that because I remember when DC initially said, he's like, dude, you got to talk to Jonathan. I'm like, what's so great? And he's like, dude, just believe me. And then I like started doing research. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like you would not know that you went through that.
Yeah. And so I take the compliment because it wasn't the medicine, it wasn't the hospital, it wasn't the staff. Love all of those things. They're wonderful. I didn't do any of it. All I had to do was go, get poked, go to sleep, eat, suffer a little bit, keep going. I take the compliment because I allowed it to shape me into who I'm supposed to be. And so when it comes to people who say it all the time, I'm not strong because I let people put medicine in my body. That shout out to the doctors, shout out to the nurses, to the techs. They did all that. They need the props. But for me and my journey and what I've accomplished, I'll take that.
And you explaining that shows me why you have a different perspective around cancer. Right? It molded you. Right? It was hard. It was challenging. It was scary. And that's why you are the man you are today. And I bet you there's a lot of people who have been through those things, and it doesn't necessarily have to just be cancer. It could be anything. Right? And then there's another perspective like me where I said, F cancer, because I just miss my grandpa.
Yeah.
Right. And I saw him struggle for those 5 to 6 years. And it did bring us closer together as a family. And there were some times where I'm like, wow, like, this is cool. We're all here. We're all hanging out all the time. And I get to hang out with him, and he was fighting through it, and he fought like hell. And it just spread too much.
Can I pause real quick?
Yeah.
How do you fight like hell? What is that? What is that?
So I'll share a story, and maybe this will answer the question.
Okay.
One night, I'll try to share this without freaking crying.
Cry.
One night, me, my cousin Joey, and my cousin Mikey, we went to my grandparents' house. And this is after my grandfather had beaten the first type of cancer. And then I think he had gotten the cancer back, and he had to walk around with like the tube thing. I believe he had his little oxygen thing. He called it his wine. He called it his bottle of wine. He had a very similar to you, great personality with it. and he called it chemo camp.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it as like a family, and so it was a family thing. And one night, me, my cousin Joey, and my cousin Mikey went to my grandparents for dinner, and I'm very close to my grandparents. They live right down the road, and my grandma made tons of sauce. She had like delicious sausages, and it was just as
Mm-hmm.
delicious as you could possibly imagine. And my grandfather always sat at the head of the table. His name was Poppy, and he was like the king, right? And he treated us just as equal as him, if not
Mm-hmm.
better. And that's why we always like he's the king.
Mm-hmm.
And and so that night, I remember we laughed for 4 hours, making jokes, making fun of our grandma, and she gives it right back to us, and he's laughing. And he just listened most of the time. And he just smiled and he laughed really hard. And he had this very powerful laugh, and it was slowly getting a little quieter as he got more sick. And we had an awesome night there. We went home, and I don't know how this message got back to me, but that night he told my grandma, he said, "That's why I'm fighting so hard." Us just cracking jokes, us laughing. And so, what does it mean to fight like hell? I don't know exactly what that might mean, but I saw what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the fact he couldn't eat all the delicious food that my grandma made all the time, and she was an awesome cook.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I saw him having to lay in bed for hours on end and us just hanging out with him in the bed. I saw all the tubes out of his back,
Mm-hmm.
and I prepared myself to possibly lose him physically.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's always in my heart, and he's always up there. And I
Mm-hmm.
talk to him all the time. I just respected the way that he fought.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hey, thank you for sharing. When I heard your story about the sign from your grandfather when you were talking to DC, I was
Yep. There's the heart right there.
bro,
That's the heart.
I cried.
Yeah.
I cried when you did that. But from my perspective, to define the fighting, what your grandfather did, and if I may, is the same thing that I did. And so fighting like hell doesn't mean anything physically. My friend who I met at the hospital said that I'm butchering it, but I'm paraphrasing it that majority of the battle is mental. So anything that helps the fight. And so the fight is the push from survival to thriving. So the fighting is the laughing. The fighting is the smiling. Because chemotherapy, chemo camp,
Chemo camp.
the process, the medicines, the side effects, okay? That is given. That is undeniable. You have to do it when you embark on that journey. And so, to help you and anybody listening or watching understand what I mean by you have to do it, right now we're both breathing. We're not thinking about breathing, it's happening. Sometimes you breathe too much and you cough. Sometimes you breathe too little, you get dizzy. That's the minute version of chemotherapy. Chemo for us became breathing. Come Wednesday, gotta go up top, go get some colorful stuff put in me, go from there. And so the fight isn't going to the hospital. It's not getting the medicine. It's not dealing with the side effects. It's laughing while it happens. It's smiling while it happens. And so I wanted to see what your perspective of what that fight looked like. Because again, I can't tell you, hey, breathe a little bit more or make sure you're breathing today. That's all taken care of. The fight, the actual journey through cancer and the journey through chemotherapy is two things. It's one, not letting it overtake your life and giving up
Yeah.
and succumbing to it. And it's the opposite of that of boy, you better make something of it.
Mhm.
You better be yourself. There better be an exclamation point
Mhm.
on your aura when you walk into a room.
Mhm.
And that's the fighting purpose. And like I said earlier, everything happens for a reason. I can't go and say, "Hey, I wish my mom didn't die."
Mhm.
It happened,
Mhm.
so I accept it. I cried
Mhm.
a lot.
Mhm.
I talk about it, but now when somebody I know loses a parent, I'm like, "Oh, you're good. You're good." Because I'll tell people, "Yo, I lost my mom," and they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man." And so the insensitive version of me was like, "Why did you kill her?" Right? But I don't do that anymore. You can't do that. But then the next thing they often say is, "Man, I don't know what I would do if I lost
Mhm.
my mother." So, like I said, I'm working on cursing less, but I still say it. So you'll figure it the fuck out. That's exactly what me and my sister did.
Mhm.
And so it's not fuck cancer. We're having this conversation now because of cancer.
Mhm.
I'm not glorifying it. I'm not
Mhm.
saying cancer is the best thing in the world. Low key, though. Hold on.
Mhm.
Hear me out. Cancer brings people together. The
It's
staff at the hospital
yeah.
is
It
amazing.
brought our family together during
All
that
right.
time.
You learn so much about yourself.
Mhm.
You learn to let go.
Mhm.
There's so many great experiences, great foundations, and everything. And if it weren't for the bad stuff, cancer would be pretty amazing.
Mhm.
Cancer would be phenomenal. But you have it.
Mhm.
So I used to be team fuck cancer, but it's a pivotal moment in my story. So I'm not actually I'm grateful for it
Mm. I was perceiving you to be grateful for it just
because
from the way you talked about it.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was dead, then it would
Right. It'd be it'd be a different story,
different.
right?
But I'm here. I can talk about it. I could be a shoulder to cry on.
Mhm.
I just became a mentor at the hospital I go to for people young kids who are who are in charge of their survivorship care.
Mhm.
Just had a great kid, and man, my story's not for me.
Mhm.
It's for everybody else,
Mhm.
and it's not to uplift me. I don't tell it so I can be on stage to get the crown. It's because we all good.
Mhm.
All of us are all good, and I'm proof.
Mhm. I will say that the your explanation of the fight is in the laughter. The fight is in the joking around. When my grandfather was with us that night, that was the fight right there,
Right there.
right there. And when he told my my grandma, who then probably told my mom, right, that's why I'm fighting so hard. I mean, all the chemo becomes the normal.
Yeah.
The tubes, the tests, the medication, the hair loss, the everything. Oh, it's just Wednesday, right? The fight becomes we're spending Friday with the grandkids, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go walk around and say hi to all the people in the hospital and crack jokes with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's a possible maybe there's a fear there that you might not get to do that again. So right now in this very moment, like you tell all your clients, right, you're right where you're supposed to be. You got everything you need, and you're doing the best you can with the resources you have in any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Cancer brought us together tonight.
Come on now.
So what I want to do now is so we're at about an hour, so I want to maybe go like 10, 15 more minutes.
Do we
Um,
have to?
I want to keep. I want to. This is what I want to ask about.
I'm saying, can we go longer?
You want to go longer?
Yeah. I mean,
It's up to Cam.
Well, we will have to take an intermission just because that you have to replace batteries.
Replace batteries.
okay. All right.
Do you want to do the intermission now, Cam?
That's up to you.
I'll.
You
So
gotta sing it off though.
I gotta sing it
You
off.
gotta play off the stuff and make things song.
I'm not singing. what I wanted, the third part I wanted to know is I wanted to just know about the fitness stuff.
Okay.
Right. I wanted to know, right. So the 12-year-old you, right, the porn, the food, the depression, the back pain turns into the low bone marrow, turns into the cancer, turns into beating cancer, turns into what's the next stage?
The next stage is being almost 300 pounds, looking up one day in the mirror.
Your mirror moment. I literally wrote down mirror moment, right? What's your mirror moment, right? I feel like everybody, right? Everybody who's listening to this, think about your mirror moment, right? That moment when you look in the mirror and you either like what you see and you're like, oh my God, I think I'm doing good.
Yo, there's two of those then.
Right? Kind of two mirror moments,
two mirror
right?
moments.
And then you have the other one where you're like, I don't like what I see looking back at me.
Okay.
I got to make some changes here.
Okay.
Right. So talk to me about the two mirror moments then.
So the first mirror moment, I'm gonna be detailed but as concise as possible. I want you to feel this mirror moment. From cancer diagnosis to the mirror moment, I don't need to tell you all the details. I don't need to tell you the time that they couldn't get my port access. I'm wailing my eyes out. I can't tell you. I don't have to tell you about the needles in my back. I don't have to tell you about failing to get into my dream college. I don't have to tell you about getting in, right? Whatever. That is all transpired. My mirror moment is in 2020. And I've never really liked being overweight. Always smiling though. I'm always in pictures. You're gonna see these teeth, which was also an insecurity. But my mirror moment, I'm in my ex-girlfriend's bathroom mirror. We had been together for 4 years. We broke up after year 3 and got back together. So there's something mentally wrong with me at this point. This is still my survival era. I have my shirt off. I'm looking in the mirror. And I used to always see bigger people in the world and be like, I will never let myself get there. Projecting. I looked in the mirror. I was like, oh, I'm almost there. My stomach is protruding. I got big old titties. My face is round. And I love David Goggins. And he talks about you have to be real with yourself. I was. And I look in the mirror and sex with my girlfriend's like terrible. But I'm addicted to porn, so it's like it's just another version of that. So it's like boom, there's a porn addict, which is something I'm only recently sharing with people. But that was something that was what I thought about because I used to be so ashamed of it. The best way to get through shame is to share it. That's why we're here. The reciprocation of shame is empathy. And you don't get empathy if you don't share the shame. Case in point, done. So I'm in the mirror, porn addict. I love a woman who I'm not in love with and I don't like. So I'm settling.
I love a woman who I'm not in love with and I don't like.
Makes sense?
Okay.
Tough. That's
a mouthful.
That's a big one.
It's a brainful.
I'm settling in this relationship. I'm like, I want to have a girl that wants to take pictures. I didn't have that. I'm not putting her under the bus. I then go through my life and I'm like, yo, I lost my mom. I'm still here. I got diagnosed with cancer. I'm still here. I didn't get into my dream school at first, got in. Come on now. Ready for this? I failed out of college twice.
Of the dream school?
Of the dream school. So they were right. They shouldn't have taken me in. I failed out twice. Got back in twice. Survived 2 depressive episodes where I dropped out of college or for the semester, went on medicine, seen a psychiatrist, a therapist, cold turkey though, but survived. And I'm chilling. I'm like, I've overcome and accomplished all of this in my life just to not be happy with what I see looking back at me in the mirror. And I had started the gym in 2017. I joined a program through the hospital where they teach you the foundations of working out. Shout out to Fit Survivor. Love them. That's the company I do mentoring with.
Okay.
Quit 2018, quit because I broke up with my girl. It's like, it's time to get hoes. I got to get handsome. Got to go to the gym. Got back with my girl, kind of fizzled out. 2019, I go to Georgia and I'm away. I'm doing an internship. So it's work, gym, home, cook all my meals. At the end of 3 months, I gained weight. But if you look at my photos, boy put on muscle. But because I was eating in a calorie surplus and I didn't know about it, I gained weight. So I said, oh, F this, I'm out. I don't care. So many failed attempts of losing weight. That's who's looking back at me. Somebody who quits. And so I was like, uh-oh. Bro, it's crazy because it's a scary moment because all of your comfort, everything that's been cool, that you've been chilling with for so long, the moment you have that realization, disappears. And it's like, something has to change. And I have to break up with my girlfriend for real. My comfort. That was like the big thing. But it was, why am I here? Why am I existing? That was my, like the lights flickering on, you only have one life. It's time to live. And so over the next 5 days, I'm like, I have to break up with my girlfriend, but I'm so empathetic. I don't want to break her heart. So I'm just avoiding her. She can't get in contact with me. I come home from school one day and she's in my room. So I have the breakup conversation with her because I can't allow myself to continue going forward how I was living. And removing her was one of the first steps. In that breakup conversation, she says to me, my stomach is the ugliest thing in the world.
Your stomach.
Yeah. She says to me, your stomach is the ugliest thing in the world. She goes vulgar, but I'll say it. She's like, yeah, I hate feeling it when you're behind me and all that.
Yeah.
Right? Explicit.
Yeah.
And I was just, right? But she's a lovely woman. And
that's some tough feedback to hear.
Oh, for sure. She's wonderful. What she said is nothing wrong with what she said because she was simply a reflection of how I felt. She wasn't telling me anything new.
So she was kind of like validating what you were feeling.
She knew. She was just telling me what I was thinking about myself.
Yeah.
And you can try to hide stuff from people, but the way you carry yourself, they know.
Oh, yeah.
And so with that, I knew that breaking up with her was the first thing because then, boy, she set me off. And it wasn't in spite of her. It wasn't in revenge. There wasn't it. Yes, there was the pursuit of, I want hoes. But in the back, it was like, I want a beautiful wife. So like, maybe it's hoes now, but I want that. And I can't expect something of someone that I'm not able to provide. So it started with my looks because that's where I rooted it from. And her saying my stomach was the ugliest thing in the world, my number one goal became lose my stomach. It wasn't a number, it wasn't a certain look per se, it wasn't strength in the gym. It was my number one goal is to lose my stomach simply because what she said is fine. She didn't hurt my feelings. I hurt my own feelings. I vowed to never let anybody have power over me with their words because they're able to say something that I feel about myself. And so I'm not a big fan of First Form, but they have these shirts, and on the back of them it says "Become Undeniable," and that's what it was about. It was to become so steadfast that you couldn't hurt me because I built myself up so much, and that transformed with the first conversation we talked about outside. And if we get to it, I'll talk about it. But that was the mirror moment, and losing my stomach was goal number one. And to paint the picture on how that started, it was that I quit before. The only thing I can do this time is simply not quit. So I would drive 45 minutes to college, class all day, work after class because I had bills to pay, drive 45 minutes home, get to Planet Fitness at 10, 11, 12, take pre-workout, go to the gym 5 days a week. It sucked. I hated it, but that's how I started. A little patchy, but still going. COVID comes, and that's a whole different beast.
It's a whole different
But
thing.
that's the mirror moment and in the beginning.
The one thing that I think is super important is your, you could say your kickstart was based upon a pain, right? It was your girlfriend saying, "Hey, I don't like the way your stomach looks."
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that a little bit because it shows the value of pain. And we'll leave that for when we come back. All right, so tell me how you got then to the 5 marathons, this machine of a man I'm looking at
Yeah.
right now. Like, how did you go from, okay, your girlfriend saying, "Hey, I don't like your stomach," and you then sitting in that pain, and off air, right? We talk about, I want to experience this pleasure and avoid this pain,
Okay.
and in that beautiful area, right? How did you then become this?
Yeah. So I'll describe, because your motion is so perfect.
Yeah.
In how I'm about to put it.
Okay.
And it's gonna be wonderful. So I'll describe how the metaphor of it that I tell my clients, my followers, and I'll tell you what mine looked like. So there was an experiment. I'm gonna paraphrase. I don't know the actual information about it, but it was an experiment. So just bear with me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna get the point across. Just know it's not scientific. So they took a rat and they put it in a tube, a PVC pipe. They tied his tail to the end of one tube and tied it to a meter that measures force.
So like how hard it was
Pulling. Put a piece of cheese at the other end of the tube that's opposite the mouse. Measured how hard it pulled. Did 6. Okay. They go reset. They put the mouse back again. They tie the tail. They put the cheese at the end of the tube, and they put the scent of a cat at the other end of the tube. Measured how hard the mouse pulled.
And the cat, it represents pain and fear.
Pain and fear.
Right.
And I'll give you another representation of anybody that doesn't like the word pain and fear. The mouse pulled 20, 25. Exponentially more effort was put in when you run from something while running to something. So running from the pain, running towards the glory, running from the shame, running to the confidence.
So you can't just have one.
You can't just have one. You have to, in a sense, not literally speaking, well, you can run, but I don't recommend it if that's what if you're trying to lose weight. You have to be running from something and running towards something. And now the third thing that I wanted to make sure we mentioned, because you're going to agree with me, is that the third element is, in this process of running from something and running towards something, maybe when you get there, you'll learn it. But I want to tell you now that you are enough exactly as you are. Because we think we need to prove something to somebody. Once we get this, then I'll be happy. Once I lose the weight, then I'll be happy. Once I get the 6-pack, then finally I'll be happy. Well, there is no beginning and end. There is no before and after. There's before and current, because you're still going. And so if you're talking about weight loss, whatever you do to lose weight is what you must continue doing to keep it off. And so if you're not happy with the 5 pounds that you lost, 50 pounds is just a multiple of 5. So if you're not happy with 50, you're not going to be happy with 5. So as you are on a journey, you better take time to express gratitude for how far you've come, because then you'll end up like me in my second mirror moment, which it's a very short story. And then I'll tell you about what that looked like going from 300 pounds to where I am. October 2021, COVID happened. I started running just to keep moving. I needed momentum.
Yeah.
So I ran in flat Nike shoes. My shins hurt. Bought running shoes. Gym's open back up. I'm back in the gym. I'm a gym guy. But that was my introduction to running. October 2021, I'm working out with these guys and they're recording us. And you do your progress photos, but you keep it the same as your beginning photo because you don't want to go before to a fabricated after. I'm seeing myself work out. I'm like, yo, that's me? And I can't even recognize the person that I've become, because every single time I see myself, I'm looking at my stomach and the stomach's still there, ignoring the chest, ignoring the traps, ignoring these pythons. You know what I'm saying? But with that, you have to take time to honor and celebrate yourself now because they're not throwing a party for you when you get 100 pounds down. You have to. And so, with that, COVID, running, back to the gym, 2021 happens, and I'm going to the gym, still vain. I'm messing around. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm showing up.
Mm.
And around 2021, I hit my lowest weight, but it wasn't some like grand event. It just happened. Okay. And I had the wisdom way back when to say, okay, my goal number one is lose my stomach. And I called it goal number one for two reasons. Because right then and there, it became my most important endeavor. There's also goal number one because I knew that there were going to be goal number 2, 3, 4 afterwards. I just didn't know what it was. I said, I'll figure out what the next goal is once I tackle this one. So I compartmentalized my goals. I then went on to do insanity. Do you know insanity?
Insanity is like a workout?
Yeah.
Like P90X type of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay.
Did workout classes. Loved it. What do I hate? Running. I get introduced to David Goggins. My brother was my influence in getting into the gym. I hate running. Discipline is only required when you don't want to do something. Because you don't have to rely on discipline when you're excited to go work out with your friend the next day. But when you're really wanting to hit that snooze button, that's when discipline has to kick in.
I say discipline's doing the hard thing when the easy thing is readily available as well.
There we go. I say discipline is doing what you hate and doing it like you love it.
Yeah.
Right? Because in the moment you hate it, you got to do it like you love it. You look back, oh, I love that thing. So I've identified that I hate running. And I've accomplished so much in my life. I got really good at working out, eating the same meals over and over. That's how I lost the weight.
That's a huge part too, right? That consistency with the meals, right? And I always think too, like, I feel like we eat the same 3 to 4 meals.
Yeah.
And if you want to like lose weight and stuff, just like pick 3 to 4 healthy meals and just eat a ton of them. Right? Like that's frankly what I've done to maintain my weight or gain a little bit of muscle and things like that. I eat the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's like the same grocery order for like 3 years.
And people who are overweight also eat the same stuff.
It's just the bad stuff.
It's like people, I'm not a dog. I don't eat the same. You already do. And so I don't want to capitalize on weight loss. If you want to talk weight loss, Instagram.com/JonathanLitz. Got you.
We'll link it in the description.
But with all of that, made the transformation. But running had a hold of me. So after 2020, I bought running shoes. So when the weather was nice, I would go out for a run. And so from 2020 to 2023, 3 miles, that's my norm. Do it, 13-minute pace, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I don't care about pace. Strava wasn't around. I was just running. One day I go, hey, my longest distance is 3. Can I do 4? I do 4. I'm like, wow, that was easy. I can do more. Whatever. Back to 3. Sporadically, I'm like, okay, 4 is my longest. Can I do 5? Yeah. 5 is my longest. Can I do 6? 6 is my longest. Can I do 7? And I'm doing this over the 3 years. 7 is my longest. Can I do 8? I do 8.62. After that, I was like, bro, that was rough. Like I can't like that.
Specifically 8.62.
Yeah, because I wanted to do 8, but then I forgot that I had to run home.
Oh, okay.
And so I did that. My coworker, I tell her about it because she runs during lunch. She's like, oh my gosh, Jonathan, sweet little woman, like the mother of the office. That's so great. You should do a half marathon. She does not know what she did with those words because off camera, I told you, I've now entered this world where what can I do? Or why can't I do something? And it's not a means of proving something to somebody, but it's just exploring because I can. I spent so much of my life doing nothing and not taking any challenge or encouragement. I was like, bet. Signed up for a half marathon. Encouraged my coworkers I was training to sign up for it. I start training. First time doing 9 miles, no water, no gels, I'm dying. I learned. I signed up for a marathon before I even run the first half marathon. I run the first half with my best friend. And my goal was just to finish. He said, yo, let's go sub 2.
Mhm.
I got 2:08. But from the half marathon, I had to get straight into marathon training.
Mhm.
And so 3 weeks later, I ran another one, another half marathon, sub 2, right? It's going to suck the first time. Then you got your bearings straight, then you go again.
Mhm.
I do my first 15-mile run, and then 16, and then 18. On my first 20-mile run, I cried.
Mm.
And this cry that I'm about to tell you about happened so many other times. Because as I'm approaching 20 miles, and I want to share this with you, and it's explicit but very important. That is the longest I've ever run. 4 hours. Did it.
Mm.
Doing it. And I was in a run club, and they told me that your strongest moments will most often make you think of your weakest.
Mm.
So the man that just finished 20 miles for the first time, I cried during the half marathon too when I passed 10, has a memory where I'm in the hospital bathroom and I'm on the toilet and I am asking myself, oh no, do I have to press this button?
Mhm.
My legs fell asleep, my joints were attacked. I couldn't lift myself off the toilet, wipe my butt, and take myself back to the hotel room. And so people talk about, oh, what's your most embarrassing moment? Somebody pantsed me. Mine is pressing the red button in the hospital bathroom, having a female tech with 2 other male techs come lift me up, wipe my butt,
Mhm.
pull my pants up, and walk me back to my hospital bed because I couldn't do that for myself. I'm crying because that kid just ran 20 miles. And then during my marathon at mile 20, I cry again because 20 was the most up until that point. Mile 21, I cry again. At the finish line, after I cramped at mile 24 and stopped, found whatever
Hmm.
inside me, crossed that finish line, sprinted.
Mm.
My finish line photo is ugly. And I'm crying because I did it.
Mm.
And then before I even ran the first marathon, that best friend that I ran the first half with, Connor, dared me to enter the Chicago lottery. We both get in. So before I even ran the first one, I signed up for the second one. And then there's Disney Marathon. So I was like, all right, I want to do that. I love Disney. And I want to move to Florida.
Mhm.
And then the fourth one was to surprise my best friend to support her. Because
Mhm.
when else am I going to be able to just sign up and surprise a best friend?
Mhm.
The fifth one was because my coworker who I did the first half marathon with couldn't go. She said, hey,
Mhm.
can you take my spot?
Mhm.
I'll do it.
Mhm.
And do we have enough time? I want to tell my Chicago marathon story.
We got let's go for 5, 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell it in a concise way because I want to ask you one more thing about
Okay.
kind of the stuff you're doing today
Okay.
too, and then I have a cool way where I want to end, and it's gonna tie into everything that we kind
Okay.
of talked about.
Wonderful. Chicago Marathon, second
Mhm.
marathon. This one is I'm going sub 4. This is supposed to be better than the first one. I think I went 4:40
Mhm.
or something the first marathon. Doesn't matter to me. I don't
Mhm.
care. I'm just sharing. Training sucks. I'm still drinking at the time. It's hot as heck during
Mhm.
Florida. My runs are terrible.
Mhm.
Leading up to the marathon. So training, not great. But I'm like, sub 4, Chicago's the best one to do it. I'm going to spoil it. I got my medal.
Mhm.
I'm going to say that. I got my medal. Hurricane Milton comes. Supposed to hit Tampa. Me and my roommate go to my grandma's in Lakeland, middle of Florida.
Mhm.
Tampa, fine. My grandma's house floods. My car floods. I have a sore throat.
Mhm.
We'll come back to that
Yeah.
sore throat. So the night of the hurricane, I'm taking lozenges and
Mhm.
pain medicine because my sore throat hurts so much. They give me an out. They say, hey, you can defer to next year. You can move your flights. I said no. I got into the lottery for this year to run with my best friend. We're going to do it.
Mhm.
I go. The shakeout run, 2 miles,
Mhm.
Saturday. Roll my ankle.
Mhm.
Bad. Limp back to the hotel room, put something on it, wake up, hurts to put weight on it. We're limping to the start line. We're going to go to the medical tent to get it wrapped up. Medical tent's not ready. I bring duct tape. Duct tape my ankle. Yo, I must have been a nurse in a past life. Ankle good. Ankle's good to go. Nutrition wasn't great. So I learned. I know that now. And I'm cooking 9-minute miles. Never done a 9-minute mile during my training. And I get to mile 10 and breakdown starts to happen. I'm like, all right, let me slow down. I need to get to the end of the finish line. I'm not new to marathons, but I'm new to going fast. At mile 16, just like what happened in mile 24, my leg starts to cramp up. But I'm like, all right, I'm going to change my running a little bit, push through it. Mile 16 and a half, cramp. Straight muscle cramp in the thighs, the quads. It's right in front of a medical tent. The volunteer was like, hey, why don't you come over to the medical tent? I go, I'm in the medical tent for 40 minutes and my legs are playing cramp pinball.
It's going back and forth.
Quads, calves, hamstrings for 40 minutes. A doctor comes up to me and says, today's not your day. It's a whole conversation. Today's not your day. You should step out. Again, forgive my language. Forgive me, Father, I've sinned. I look at him and say, Mama ain't raised no bitch. Let me up. I'm finishing. I disobeyed the doctor's orders. I walked the last 10 miles. I ran about a mile, ran into a follower of mine at the race, encouraged him, sent him on his way because I'm struggling.
Yeah.
6 hours, 9 minutes was my finish time. Supposed to be 4 minutes. At the end, I cramped up. Had to get in my finisher photos. I'm on somebody's shoulder.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. Come to find out, I also had tonsillitis. So the one that was supposed to be the best marathon ever, despite all odds, I finished. And I needed that.
Yeah.
I didn't need the 4 hours, sub 4. I needed to overcome and to prove to myself that just because you did one, just because you accomplished something, doesn't mean that it's going to be easy from here on out. My life has been difficult, and I accept that it is going to remain difficult. My path is harder because I'm meant for more. Thank you, Chicago.
My path is harder because I'm meant for more. For anybody who thinks they have a hard life, right? For anybody who might be struggling, maybe it's just because you're meant for more.
It is. Not maybe.
Yeah. Right, that's the story we're putting to it. Right, there's something bigger, right? We have to get beat up. Right, we talked about, they haven't really talked a little bit about this, but like suffering, right? The power of suffering and going through that and building yourself into a human who can withstand tension is going to be a skill that will serve you forever because your relationship is going to have tension. Your finances are going to have tension. You looking in the mirror at times will still have tension. Your job, your family life. Our life is a direct result of how well we can manage that tension. And everything that you've talked about today is you showing your resilience in managing the tension. And it's led you to what you do today. And give a brief kind of description of kind of what you do today now from all of that.
Of course. So I graduated as an engineer.
As an engineer?
I was an engineer for 3 years.
Okay.
And quit that because my purpose is helping others, but not necessarily actually serving others. And so I'm an online coach, but I'm also a public speaker, and I'm also an author. I have a story to tell that empowers people to believe in themselves. And so no matter what happens in my life, I'm relentlessly optimistic. And so I'm exploring the avenues in which I can share my story to uplift others. Not for the sake of glorifying myself, for I'm just a man. When people try to give me glory, give me honor, I'm just a man. I'm no better than anyone. And so with my online clients, I am their friend. They don't pay me for workout plans. They get them. They don't pay me for meal plans. They get them. They don't pay me for groups. They get them. They pay me to care about them. They know that somebody in the world cares about them, so they might as well care about themselves. And it's through fitness and nutrition and knowledge and insight that I help them become what they need to be. One client lost 70 pounds, one client lost 50, but then started two businesses and changed his life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Toastmasters, improving my public speaking ability. I'm speaking on podcasts to speak more, to share my story. And I'm writing my book, which is the tell all of what I went through and how you can get through it too. And that's my purpose at this very moment in life.
I'm glad we're here tonight, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that's the name your mother gave you.
That's it.
What's the book called?
The book is called Do More.
Do More. Simple.
Simple.
To the point.
Can I describe? Can I explain Do More?
Yes, yes, you can.
So I'm training for the first marathon, and I'm in the engineering office telling everybody about it.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my team lead, yeah, I just ran 15 miles last weekend. We're training. Like, yeah. He's like, no, as a joke. He's like, Jonathan, you got to do more. Shout out, Mark. You got to do more as a joke. I'm like, wait, hold on, Mark. You're right. No matter what you're going through in life, you can always do more. Mm. And so that's the message. No matter what you're doing right now, you can add that 5 pounds on. You could do 1 more minute of reading. And so VPNs is go one more.
Go one more, yeah.
Mine is just do more.
Yeah.
No matter where you're at, what you're doing, you can always do more. And here's how I did more. You do.
It's kind of like this podcast. We're going to end 10 minutes ago and we decided to do more.
Do a little bit more.
All right, I want to read something.
Okay.
2012 versus 2022. This is the face of a kid who thought normal was gone forever. At 15, cancer rewrote my story. Chemo, college applications, wishing for a life beyond hospital walls. By 2018, I'd survived, but survival mode leaves scars. Then came 2019, the year I quit again. Quit the gym, failed out of school, took this photo thinking maybe this is just who I am now. Spoiler, it wasn't. 2022 forced a choice. Stay down or crawl forward. I graduated on a laptop screen. I stuck to my routine for 11 months straight. Turns out, rock bottom makes a solid launching pad. 2021, I walked across the stage into a world reopening with a degree and a body that finally felt like mine. 2022, the year I stopped hiding, deleted the filters, shaved the beard. Posted my first unfiltered progress pic and created my Instagram to share my story with the world. Terrifying? Yes. Freeing? Hell yeah. 2023 taught me legs that survived chemo could outrun doubt. First half marathon, then another, then a marathon, then 2. Impossible started sounding like a dare. 2024 flipped the script. I paced strangers through their first races. Funny how giving back makes your own struggles glow brighter. In 2025, I crossed the line for my third marathon with my gang cheering me on from the side. And now, my next adventure begins. I'm prepping for a bodybuilding stage for my show July 26th. Arrival, my prep vlogumentary is dropping soon. I'm now living a life 2012 me couldn't have dreamed of. To you reading this, or to you watching this, that thing you're battling right now, it's not your finale. It's the fire that'll forge your next chapter. Keep showing up. Keep failing forward. One day, you'll turn around and barely recognize the person you once were. If you ain't dripping, you tripping. That is a post that you put up January 31st. And for those of you who are watching, this is what it looked like. It was Jonathan with cancer, Jonathan without cancer. Jonathan, it was an honor talking to you tonight, man. That was incredible. We probably could have talked for a year. Yeah. But I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for never giving up. Mm-hmm. Thank you for making it through your mom passing Thank you for making it through cancer. Thank you for taking what your girlfriend said to you at that time and using it as fuel to turn yourself into this beast of a man who's now giving it all back. So I just want to say thank you, man.
Saw him. Saw him.
All him.
Never me.
Amen to that, brother.
Even though I thought it was. And so I accept your thanks on his behalf. But
I'm good with that.
I am honored to be a vessel.
Mm.
That's how I'll put it. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm thankful I get to experience the joy of having this conversation with you. And I don't know if you felt how I felt, but this was absolutely wonderful.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Poor Cam had to deal with us for much longer.
Hopefully you got something. We got the live version. But this was a wonderful conversation, and I don't think it'll be our last.
No, it definitely won't, brother. Let's keep serving, bro.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. It's a wrap, baby.
It's a wrap.